Hey, what's up, guys? Daily Kamel here, and I just wanted to talk really quickly to you about the bundles that are in the shop right now. We just got a new one pretty recently. The Galaxy Cyclone one was added, and I realized we didn't have a video or an up-to-date one talking about all of them and their viability. So I'm essentially just going to go down the list from the most recent to the oldest and let you know about the viability of each one. And if you're a new player, what kind of situation that you would be going for if you want to buy each of these bundles. So starting off with Galaxy Cyclone. Galaxy Cyclone is from a box with Kawaki Mirus, Mermails, and UAs, so not the best, and it's pretty old. So for veteran players, this is definitely a good pickup. Galaxy Cyclone is a more conditional form of back row removal than we're usually used to, only destroying set cards at first, but then can be banished from the graveyard to destroy face up spell and trap cards. So that makes it very good against side deck cards like Necro Valley, Stygian Dirge. We've seen more recently things that just floodgate cards that are going to just, wreck your board. Poisonous Winds, another one off the top of my head. Why am I drawing a blank? Light and Dark Imprisoning Mirror as well. So those are the main purposes of Galaxy Cyclone, and you really only want to be playing this card when you know you're going to be able to make use of both of its effects. Otherwise, destroying a set card is kind of limiting. So you want to make sure that the deck you're going up against is going to have those face-up cards for you to destroy. So this is a great side deck option if you have the $5 to spend. Next, Raigeki Break. Again, another great card. Discard one card, then turn one card in the field, destroy it. Another great pickup for veteran players if you did not go through that box multiple times. I recommend this at 3 if you are a veteran player, but for new players, you would like to think about the discard mechanic. Destroying a card in the field is nice, but if you are starting up your new account, the best path you should take to start with this card would be to build Blue Eyes. If you are building Blue Eyes, this card is a huge power spike to that because you are utilizing your discard of your stone to destroy a card. Exactly what you want to be doing with Blue Eyes. So if you're already spending money on the structure decks, be sure to come here and pick up a Raigeki Break for $5 as well. For everyone else, if your decks don't really make use of the discard mechanic, you can hold off on this until you start building a deck that may utilize it better. Alright, so next I have here Drowning Mirror Force. Drowning Mirror Force is one of my personal favorite traps in Duel Links. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, shuffle all attack position monsters your opponent controls into the deck. Now, yes, this card is a battle trap, meaning it will only activate upon attack declaration, and battle traps in Duel Links are not amazing right now. Most of the time they are not amazing, but Drowning Mirror Force is the one battle trap that I would say is an exception against certain decks that have a tough time repeatedly removing back row or are often forced to attack into back row. Drowning Mirror Force is great to have, one of. And if you're in a tournament scenario, you can bring it out in the side deck, or if you're on the ladder, guys, the ladder is not that serious. You will be surprised how far a Drowning Mirror Force will do you on the ladder against certain decks that lack the back row removal, or if you are able to bring out a lot of back row. If you're playing a back row deck, you can catch your opponent off with a battle trap because they're not going to be expecting you to be running a battle trap. If they make it through your initial traps, and they didn't get Floodgate or Canadian, they may attack into your Drowning and get all their monsters bounced back to the deck. This card is very lethal and essential in dismantling big boards. It's one of the main ways to do that in Duel Links, so I like it. Keep in mind, battle traps are very predictable and not in the best spot in Duel Links, but Drowning Mirror Force, I believe, is always a nice card to have. It goes in any deck. Alright, so next we have Floodgate Trap Hole, one of our main 3 staples that we say every player should have 3 of. Floodgate is not in the best position right now just because of the amount of fast summoning effects that we've gotten into the game with Red Dragon Archfiend, Stardust Dragon, but nevertheless, a flip effect is a flip effect. You'll be able to interrupt your opponent at some point during their chain, and as long as the half price gem sale is going on, if you have the option to buy Floodgate or go get it with gems, I'm gonna say why not both? You know, get to Floodgate. But if you had to choose, take advantage of the half price gem sale. Floodgate is here all the time. Don't really worry about rushing to pick this up. Take advantage of the half price gem sale. Then if you've got $5 laying around, pick up your Floodgate. Okay, next we have Ritual Summon Support. This will get you 2 cards, Send You of the Thousand Hands and Sonic Bird. Essentially, Send You of the Thousand Hands gets you 1 ritual monster from your deck to your hand, and the Sonic Bird gets you 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Both of these effects activate when they're normal or flip summoned. These are good for ritual decks. Now, I will let you know that there's only 1 good ritual deck in Duel Links, and that is Megalith. Megalith is a King of Games worthy deck. It did well in the last Casey Cup, but that's it. Vendread sees some play, but other than that, Ritual overall is not amazing in Duel Links. However, when Ritual decks do come into play, you absolutely need multiple copies of these cards to play those decks, depending on which resource they need more of. So while this bundle will get you 1 of each, to be honest, I do believe you're going to have to target one of them depending on what the ritual deck you're playing requires. If you're playing Megaliths, you want Send You because you ritual summon with your ritual monsters. With Sonic Bird, that might be something like Cyber Angels because you need your ritual spells to ritual summon. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind ritual summoning is not the best in Duel Links right now. This is also the largest bundle. It gets you 15 packs out of the latest box instead of just 10. So keep that in mind. And this is also the most expensive. It's $8 because you get 2 cards. Next is the good old Paleozoic Canadia. And yes, I'm definitely going to recommend that if you are a new player who intends to spend money on Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, you should 100% spend $5 to get 1 Paleozoic Canadia. We recommend that you get Canadia as one of your first cards on your new account before you build your new deck. So you getting 1 Canadia for $5 saves you a huge amount of time and gems and money otherwise if you're going to dig for Canadia. So yeah, be sure you pick up your Canadia for $5 if you intend to spend money. If you don't worry. Take advantage of the half price gem sale while it is here. But yeah, Canadia, this is probably one of the most worth bundles, I would say. Definitely a must buy if you intend on buying bundles. And next we have Cosmic Cyclone. Pay 1,000 life points to target a spell and trap on the field. Banish it. A key back row removal card in Duel Links, and another must buy in a bundle form if you intend to spend money on Duel Links. Cosmic Cyclone is one of the oldest and best back row removal cards. It's on the limited list at limited 3, so decks that also include limited 3 cards will usually toss this to the side, but any other deck will be using this, and this is probably one of your best options for back row removal. This is a must buy if you intend to spend any money on Duel Links. Be sure to pick it up. This is also affected by the half price gem sale, mind you. So take advantage of the half price gem sale while you can, but if you want to spend $5, here it is. Spirit Karibo, same thing, half price gem sale as well, but if you want to spend $5, here it is. This is a great hand trap when your opponent attacks, switch it into defense. And hand traps are good if you are playing a deck that will utilize them. Hand traps are generally pretty useful, but in decks that have very large engines, they can tend to clog up your hand and prevent you from drawing all of your combo pieces that you need. So in the meta right now, think of decks like Fire Kings and Thunder Dragons, decks that do not depend on back row for their survival. They instead depend on the resources in their hand, like Spirit Karibo, Battle Boxer Veil, Kiteroid. Spirit Karibo is one of the big hand traps in Duel Links, and it is in the first box, so you'll be able to pick it up with half price gems for the next 2 weeks, or get it for $5 from here. Another, if you're gonna spend money in Duel Links, I do believe 1 Spirit Karibo from the bundles is a must buy for you. So yeah. Next, we have Super Rush Headlong. Super Rush Headlong used to be a really good card 2 and 3 years ago. Target one face-up monster you control, declare one attribute that target battles an opponent's monster with that attribute this turn. Destroy that opponent's monster at the start of the damage step. Now, while this card is still effective, its path of removal is kind of slow, has been pretty power crept, and there are more effective ways of removal in the game, like Karma Cut, Canadia, Book of Moon, things like that. So I would not say that this card is absolutely necessary, because in any deck, I cannot see a situation where Super Rush Headlong would be better than you running a card like Karma Cut, or Canadia, or Floodgate. Any of those cards that I just mentioned, or frankly, any of these general cards that we have gone over in this video. Super Rush Headlong, as far as utility goes, is just outmatched by some of the newer cards, and I honestly think that there's just no real place for it in a main deck in this meta. Of course, it is great as a side deck tech that comes out. No one expects Super Rush Headlong, and its effect is just general enough for it to work against a strategy that may counter your deck directly. Okay. So our final bundle is Mirror Wall. This was the first bundle to get added, and Mirror Wall is also a trap card that used to be very good, but now is no longer very relevant. The main draw of Mirror Wall is that you are able to pay 2,000 life points to proc just about any skill in the game, including Destiny Draw, and this trap card is activatable at any point during the battle phase, and it does the job of a Wall of D. So you can activate this in the attack declaration, battle step, or damage step, and it does what Wall of D does, and it can proc your skill at the end of the turn. So this is a pretty powerful card. However, it ends up being too slow more often than not, and if you do want to keep its effects live, you do have to pay 2,000 life points, and that is not always the best idea or the best call for your situation. More often than not, if you see yourself in a situation where you have to use this card, you may not have 2,000 life points to pay, so you'll be forced to go on without activating this effect. So it is more situational, and that is why this card has fallen out of the meta. However, I say it again, if you're a veteran player, you got $5 laying around, this card is a great throw it into one of your newer decks if you are one card short, if you are lacking back row, if you haven't really spent your gems on back row cards, if you've been spending them on building a deck. If you got $5, you pick up Mirror Wall, throw it into one of your new player decks, man. It will do great. So in summary, I think that a lot of these bundles, if you are someone who's new and is just coming to spend money, you should buy, or you should consider buying most of these, since they are cards that you will generally use if you intend to play any top tier or tier list deck or any competent strategy. Probably all of these cards, such as Canadia, Cyclone, Spirit Karibo, Floodgate, those are the ones that are generally useful. Some of the more situational cards include Galaxy Cyclone, Raigeki Break, Johnny Mirror Force, and Mirror Wall. The ones that are really fringe that I would say are the ones that only require you to build if you have specific strategies are the Ritual Support bundle. I would say skip that unless you want to build a Ritual deck, and Super Rush Headlong unless you need a side, unless you plan on playing in tournaments. I think that's the only reason you'd be going for that. Galaxy Cyclone, again, very situational as well, and Spirit Karibo, generally useful. So, thank you guys for joining me, and peace out. I'll see you later.